Welcome you all to the second session of this series. In last session we have seen the analysis of single base single story RC frame structure. So I thought that rather going from analysis to the design directly, we should first discuss about the different sections or flange sections we can say that to be adopted for design. As we know, the sections that we are considering for design of portal frame or flange sections, that are T section and L section, and the simple is rectangular section, that also we will see where to adopt that section. So I request you all, if you haven't seen the first video, so the link will be in the description or at the I button. Just click it and watch it so that you will understand the concept of analysis. So let's begin this session. Before starting actual concept, the basic principle that we should know is this one, that the area of concrete under tension should be neglected. As I know, this is simplest form of the sentence, but this is only the line which will decide which type of section to be adopted at what position of the portal frame. So remember this sentence. We will see the application of this principle in upcoming time. So once you have done that, let's jump to the concept. So this is the simplest form of the diagram, from where it came, just from this 3D model of Revit. We have seen this model in previous video. We have seen the different components, and you can see here, over here you can see here the intermediate frame over here, which is we have drawn in the AutoCAD. So you can see here, this is the simplest form, where there is a panel from both the sides, there is a beam, and regarding component we can say it as a flange section. This one is it is a flange section, and this is a rib section or web section. These are the two components of every flange section, right? So there will be the loading on the slab. Loading will contain the floor finish, live load, self-weight of slab, and self-weight of beam that we have already seen in the last video, right? So because of that loading, this whole component will be under deflection, and how that deflection will be, that will be like this. So here you can see the slab and beam are deflecting together. If we only talk about the mid portion of this beam, of this flange section, that means at this point, you can see that both slab and beam are deflecting in same manner. That means at the top there is a compression, whereas at the bottom there is a tension. I'm talking about both the components, that is slab also and beam also. That's why using this advantage, I can design the section at mid as a flange section, as there is the same behavior of slab and beam, so I can integrate them together. There will be the flange, that will be the portion of slab, and there will be the web, that will be the portion of beam itself. But now moving towards the joint, that is beam column joint. Here imagine that there will be the column. I have deliberately neglected the drawing of column because that will clear the drawing. That's why I have neglected that. So imagine there will be the column over here, and there is a frame on this side also, suppose. So because of this continuity of the slab, there will be the tension in the slab, right? Because as we know, whenever there is a joint, there will be the tension at top and compression at bottom. So as per the basic principle that we have seen just now, that is this one, whenever there is a tension, we should neglect that area of concrete. So whenever you are going to design the section at a joint, there you only need to consider the area of beam. That means I am talking about this area only, this area. Whereas at the mid, you should consider the area of whole flange section. Okay, so this is about the T section, and it will be same about the L section also. Here it is a L section, and this will be the deflected shape. At mid you should consider the flange section, that is L shape, whereas at end you should only consider the rectangular section, that means this only. You should neglect this portion of slab as it will be under tension. Alright, so once the concept is understood, it is very much essential to know why only L and why only T section we should consider. Right, so to get to know about that, again we should go for the Revit model, the same model we are going to see. Okay, to get the concept, I have drawn one section over here. You can see the section is at the mid of your frame, right, at the mid, because see, just now we have discussed that at the end of your frame, means at this point, and at this portion also, there will be the rectangular section, because slab will be in tension, so only rectangular beam you have to consider for design. Whereas at mid you should go for the T section and L section, but where to adopt T section and where to adopt L section, that we should understand. So I am active. I have taken the section at mid of your frame, and now I will activate it. So you can see here. So whenever there is a intermediate frame, there the T section is adopted. There will be the T section. I am talking about this section. This is a T section that we should consider while designing the intermediate frame, that too at a mid. Okay, how much this value will be, that will be decided while designing the section. There is a basic terminology, and from where that formula came, that formula also we will discuss, and that formula will be dependent on the BMD diagram actually. Okay, how much part of this flange section will contribute in resisting the loads integrally with the beam, that will decide this whole length of the flange. Okay, so as we have discussed right now, that whenever there is an intermediate frame, there will be the T section, but whenever there is an end frame, there will be the L section, like this. This is the L section. IS code has clearly given the formula for T section and L section while calculating the effective width of the flange. Okay, so this is the L section that you should consider for the end frame, while for the mid frame you should consider the T section, right? So this is all about the intermediate frame, end frame. But now in the interviews or in exam, whenever there is a necessary to give the answer very quickly, I have made one summary for this video that will summarize the whole video. That whenever there is an intermediate frame, at mid you should design the section at T section, and for intermediate frame at end of the beam you should design it as a rectangular section. Same for the end frame, whenever there is a mid, at a mid you should go for the L section, and for end of the beam you should design it as a rectangular section. That means at end of intermediate frame as well as end frame you should go for rectangular section only, whereas at intermediate frame at mid you should go for T section, and at end frame at mid you should go for L section. So this is a very short video that I have made just to clear the idea about T section, L section and rectangular section that you should design from the analytical results. Hope you understood the concept. In next video we will see the further part of the video, so stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, hit the like, subscribe button and share to others also. Thank you very much.